doesn't care that his critics call him a racist. He says he was just being honest about the state of affairs in this country.
What about that? What about that racist charge, Paul? I mean, can you shake that racist charge? I mean,
I can't shake it because I'm a victim. I live in America. I get my experience from that, and I went to white schools. I was taught freedom of speech, so I'm exercising that. And I think that that's a fantasy, because black people in America, we all go about thinking that under the illusion of inclusion, and we're not included. We find that out every day. So I can't be that by definition. Get the dictionary.
A black person can't be racist by definition.
Why is that?
Because we don't have any control over people's lives. I can't tell you what neighborhood to live in. I can't tell you what school to go to. I can't tell you you're a second-class citizen. I can't tell you that you can't vote. If I get on that corner and say, I get on that corner for 5 years and I stand there and I go, I'm going to take me a knife and I'm going to cut your throat, and I'm going to take a car and I'm going to run you over, and I'm going to take this hammer and I'm going to beat you till you dead. If I never kill anybody, am I a murderer? When I kill somebody, what does that make me? A murderer. Okay, what I can talk about it all day long. All we do is talk. White folks do. White folks make laws. There's laws in the book. I'm from Louisiana that said if you marry out of your race, you go to jail. You understand? There's laws that you can't own property. They made laws. Laws. You can't vote. You can't go to school. You can't live in this area. You ain't never seen a sign that said, white boy, if you in this town, when this sun goes down, we're going to hang you. Now have you. That's racism, a practice, what you preach. I hate that crap when they say that. It's like the race card.
I want to finish, because I find it interesting that people say that, and white people say that to me all the time. They say, you're racist, you're prejudiced. And I said, well, I'm going to take your...
Can you please tell me why it's blacks who are killing hundreds of thousands of blacks in Rwanda and other places? And can you please tell me why from Haiti, blacks from Haiti are just risking their lives to come here to the United States of America?
I'll tell you if I get a chance. Black people have been robbed, as I said earlier, of a knowledge of self. And when you rob people, sir, of a knowledge of self, then it means that they start to take on the characteristics and the nature of their oppressor and their colonizer. And his mind, by automatic, systematic, remote control, rules in our people. He gives them the guns and the weapons and the drugs and the alcohol, the way you did our brothers, the red man and the red woman, brothers and sisters, the way you did our Latino brothers and sisters, and then you pit one against the other and then say, look at what these people are doing.
Yes. Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust.
May I have your attention, please? Thank you.
Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust on 11 million people that died, 6 million of which were Jews, 5 million were others. Am I to understand that you would very much support his way of doing things, and him for that matter?
Sir, this is not reverse racism nor discrimination that you could tie into your statement on Hitler. If the slave master is whipping the slave and blood is running down the slave's back, and that's incidentally where the term cracker comes from the cracker man who had the crack of the whip on the slave's back. But if the slave takes the slave master's whip from him and starts whipping the slave master with his own whip, that is not reverse racism, that is not reverse discrimination, that is the slave getting out from under the yoke of bondage and oppression. I don't advocate what Hitler has done before the world. Hitler's struggle. I went to the Holocaust Memorial Museum and I tried to separate Hitler as a freak of nature from the rest of white people. But after all that we have gone through, I know that there's a little bit of Hitler in all white people and a lot of Hitler.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. We back now. Can you hear me, Cassidra?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Y-
Or good
Yeah, I hear
afternoon.
you.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's
Can you hear me?
nighttime for me. I'm good. I'm good. How you doing? I hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Cassandra, I know that what we said, and we're gonna get to it, but I know it's morning for you, so and I'm already turned up, so I had to, show you something to get you turned up a little bit first, before we get into
Yeah,
just
I
the
love it. I love
history.
it. I love it.
Black folks always doing something, Cassandra. So,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
go into it. Let's just
Let's
go
tell what
into
you think in
it.
the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank.
Uh,
We're some tea some.
hold on, my bad. It's playing. It shouldn't be playing.
Buying furniture for your business can be full of
My bad. So listen to this, Cassandra. So tell me what you think about this. This is a positive thing, though. First,
I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be crazy? 200,000 of us. $10 a month. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole revolution. 200,000 people. Not begging, not marching, not waiting on anybody, just subscribing. $10. Less than 2 gallons of gas. Less than one drink at the airport. 200,000 people times $10 is $2 million
Mm-hmm.
every single month. 12 months of that, $24 million. No loan, no bank, no permission. Ours.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what we build with that. We opened 10 hamburger stands. Atlanta.
now, I don't know about hamburger stands, but
No,
a
I don't
police
know.
force,
Yeah,
hospitals,
exactly.
schools, stuff
Yeah,
like
there
that.
you go. There you go.
Um,
There you go.
and just
Yeah,
overall
we can
businesses.
start
You know what
our
I'm
own
saying?
police department investigating team. That's
Yeah.
what we can start with right there. Yeah, that's good. I like
Armed
that.
security. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
not no hot dog
So
stand. So
no, we're not doing hot dog stand.
yeah.
No,
Family,
we're not doing that.
line
We're doing
workers,
schools.
60.
What'd you say?
See, we're building schools and clinics. We need our own birthing centers, and we need our own clinics and our own police department. That's what we need to
Yeah,
start first.
yeah,
And there was
birthing.
a
Yeah,
lady on TikTok that was saying that was talking about this. I wish I could pull her up. And she was I think I have her in my TikTok, but she was talking about $20 a month. And some most people was for it. But I haven't seen her again. They probably took her off though, knowing them. They probably took her off.
yeah.
But yeah,
But you know
yeah,
that.
totally.
Yeah, that was what we was trying to do before. Like when we was trying to do that, like work together
Yeah,
and like put $5,
yeah,
$1. I don't care.
yeah, yeah.
But hey, what are you gonna do, right?
I totally agree. We have to start somewhere. But you know what? When you start talking like this, folk get scared and they start talking about Black Wall Street. And I said, well, Black Wall Street didn't have armed guards around their cities or in their cities. If they had a deacon of defense, then I guarantee you it would have worked. And nobody would have blew up anything. So yeah, I
Yeah.
rest.
And by the way, shouts out to Jermaine and my brother Anthony in the building. I appreciate y'all for listening. Much love to
Welcome,
y'all.
welcome, welcome.
$55,000 to $70,000 a year. Store
Mm,
managers, 90,000. One district manager over all 10 stores, $120,000 a year to run a hamburger joint with dignity, with benefits, like they matter, because they do. Somebody's going to say, "Oh, that math is tight," and I'm going to say, those paychecks, past the food costs, past the lease, past the lights, goes back.
mhm.
And here's exactly.
And by the way, and consider what you be saying, like, cause I know a few people who said this, like when you was like get a property where people rent out together their businesses and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah. I
Hmm.
called it almost like a black mart. I mean, if we can, come together and have it globally, and we can, spend our money there. We don't have to spend our money with anybody else. and everybody will come there and pay $75. I'm just throwing out a number. Everybody pays $75 a week, and that takes care of the mortgage, and the building and the electric, and the rest stays in their pockets. But we come together and do, food. You do catering. You do your own business. You do your beauty supplies. You do, your nails, your hair there. You do barbering. You do everything in one location,
Plumbing,
and this goes
electrician.
globally. Exactly. You have your electrician, your plumbers, everything there. Everybody comes there, and you have your little office, and that's where you come for your Black need. And we spend our money in our own business, with our own, for our own, supporting our own. And don't that sound better? I guarantee you we'll have a seat at the table. But until we get ready to come together and do something for ourselves instead of trying to vote in white supremacy and voting in these coon Negroes that's totally working for white folk and totally not caring anything about Black people. Because if they was, we would see a change in our neighborhood. We would see a change in us, a change in our economics. Until we do that, nothing is going to happen. Nothing's going to change. They'll continue killing you. They'll continue drowning you, calling it an accident. They'll continue hanging you and calling it suicide. So when you're ready to change some shit, let me know. All right.
Mm. Well, it sounds good, but we got to come back to reality, Cassidra.
I'm just
Um,
saying, this could be your reality. When are you ready to
it could
change?
be.
When are you ready? Are we going to be ready to change our reality? When? We've been waiting long enough. We've been talking about voting. Okay, what are you voting for? Has anything changed voting? That's my question to Black people across the world. Has anything changed? Even in Africa, you keep voting the same old president who has done nothing for you, and he's been in office 30 years. Make it make sense. What sense does that make? Pool your monies together and support your own. You have a whole president. Three: Niger, Burkina Faso, and one more. And I can't think of the other one. Mali. They've come together and they're doing for their people. Burkina Faso has been, they tried to kill this man 36 times. He doesn't care. He continues to build his city. And you should see what he's done to his country. More so than anybody else. He's done without any help. He's using his own resources, and he's growing his country. He's building his country. He could literally make his country look like Dubai. And them Arabs came in from Saudi Arabia and said, "Hey, can we put mosques there?" He said, "No, you can build schools, you can build communities, you can build housing, but you can't put mosques. What you gonna do with mosques if people ain't got nowhere to live?" That's what they told him, and that's what he told them, and they got mad. What do you mean you can't build a church? No, we don't need that. We need schools. You want to build a school? A supermarket or something, hospitals. They didn't want to do that. They want to put mosques there. No, he said no, and he didn't. He kicked everybody out, and he's doing it himself. And you should see it. That white folk, we can do it. We can do it all. We built America. I hear that all the time. Well, what are you building for yourself right now? Are you building hospitals? Are we building our own schools? Are we building our own banks? Are we buying up land so that we can live on? So when these crackers get ready to start this civil war, you can come together in one location and you can fight them back. You can't fight them spread all abroad across America. But I rest. Go ahead.
No, no, you good. Now, here we go with the BS, Cassidra, because I know it's early for you, so I gotta wake you up first. And so
Mm.
this
Well, I know
we'll
you want
go
me to tell me.
into.
Go ahead.
I tried to start off. We started off positive though, so I'm gonna give myself credit this
And we're
time. We
gonna
start.
keep that one up.
uh,
So when we get ready to end, we're gonna play that one again. How about that?
Yeah,
So we can
yeah,
come
yeah.
bring it back to where we're trying to go. We can't always throw something, I understand, but we got to change the mindset. It's time to change the mindset. How do you change the mindset? We got to keep something positive. We got to keep showing them where we came from. We got to keep, because what the Bible tells you never to forget. Because when you forget, you're gonna repeat the same old action. So we have to, we got to keep, is I understand. I totally get it. But for Black people, you got to keep them remembering what we used to do. This is what we used to do. We can do it again. We built America. We can build Africa. We can build our own colony. We can build our own country. We can build this. We did America. We can do it again. But I'll go ahead. I rest.
No, yeah, and I'll be quick so we could go to the history part, but we also gotta look at the present day part too, of where we are today so we can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, if you will. But listen to this.
Niggas will say stupid shit like, I ain't oppressed. You know what Harriet Tubman said? She said, I would have freed so many more of my people only if they knew they were slaves. All niggas want is comfortable oppression. Niggas is okay with being oppressed as long as it's comfortable. Master only slapped that nigga 10 times. He only slapped me 9. I'm all right with that. We pick cotton for just 23 hours a day. Now, he didn't make us pick it sun up again, 24 hours. Niggas just want comfortable oppression. And the system understands that we'll feed these niggas hope. We'll feed them false hope. We'll give them 1 or 2 niggas to idolize, to put up on a pedestal, to chase. And it's achievable, but it's not achievable. The system isn't meant for everybody to win. Because if it was, everybody would be winning. Niggas.
Now, all right, and forgive me for the language, I guess, but it's not meant for any of us to win. You know what I'm saying? That's why they take the select few, right? The talented 10th out of the thing, but do they really win in the end? You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is a
No,
story that
nope,
repeats over and over and over,
absolutely not.
Mm.
Until we come together and do for self and be amongst our own, you're never going to win. Look what happened to that young man. He was around all the white dudes and he come up dead and now they hiding it. I mean, you got a whole tape saying they did it, a whole tape, and they come and telling you, that's not what you hear. Oh, that didn't happen like that. Oh, it was an accident. Well, what was an accident? What part was an accident? Because I'm white and I say so? So they're showing you we can kill you in your face. We can tell you what to think, and we're gonna show you what the power that we hold, that whatever we say go. I don't care if we have a tape. I don't care if you hear this dude say I did it. We're gonna tell you what to think, and we're gonna tell you what you heard you didn't hear. This is what you heard. So now they trying to convince you that they didn't do it. But it's on the whole tape. And they say it's AI. Oh, it really? Okay. But until when when black folk tell you no justice, no peace, we need to make that shit come true right now. If you let them boys walk, we're gonna burn some shit down. Period. But let's see what they do about it. This is why you don't see change. Because you got black folk coming forth now saying, oh, that was AI. What the hell? Shut up and sit down. Those are the ones that we're gonna have to take care of before we take care of these crackers. We're gonna have to take care of these black folk that's out of order. Because when white folk get out of order, white folk they're out of 'em, plain and simple. And we have proof of it over the years. Kyle Rittenhouse got out of order. What'd he do? He went and shot 3. 2 of them died, and he walked. That's I'm white and I say so. But guess what? We looking at it. We operate. They making laws to send your ass back to slavery, to Jim Crow. Folk, sitting there. What y'all doing about it? Absolutely nothing. Y'all not. Y'all so busy telling me we're not getting out in the street. We're gonna stay over here. Stay there. You dying, not doing nothing. Why don't you die for your freedom? Die for revolution, change, or get the hell out of America if you're not gonna do nothing. You're gonna sit up there and let them send your baby war because they have a whole war. They're getting ready to after what they say in November, midterm. They're getting ready to start sending your babies to war to fight for a war you didn't start. And guess whose children are going first? Yours. Are you ready for that? You ready to send your baby overseas? And some black folk are, because they're gonna send their baby. They already signing up right now. You have black children right now signing up to go to the military, and they see that we're in a full-blown war. World War III, matter of fact. He just has not declared it yet. And you got black folks signing up, sending these children to fight for a country that hates them. Are you fucking crazy? You're out of your mind. Yes, I'm cussing this morning, this afternoon, this night for you, because I'm sick of seeing what I'm seeing. But go ahead, I rest.
No, and check this out. And first of all, and shouts out to Matron in the building. Appreciate you for coming through. And I think she
Welcome,
gonna be
Matron.
back with her live next week. And she said, no, they don't win. Remember, we have to defend ourselves, but we have to stop buying into the devaluation of black life. We need to revive an eye for an eye. And shouts out to Nicole in the building. She said, no lies were
Welcome.
told, Cassidra. And listen, I'm gonna play this one part because you said the most no justice, no peace, but we are the most peaceful with the least justice, right? Because this is what
Yeah.
I
we
tell you
do,
what
you
school
know.
to go to. I can't tell you
Mhm.
you're a second class citizen. I can't tell you that you can't vote. If I get on that corner and say, I get on that corner for 5 years and I stand there and I go, I'm going to take me a knife and I'm going to cut your throat and I'm going to take a car and I'm going to run you over and I'm going to take this hammer and I'm going to beat you till you dead. If I never kill anybody, am I a murderer?
Exactly.
When I kill somebody, what does that make me? A murderer. Okay, what I can talk about it all day long. All we do is talk. White folks do.
Did you hear that? All we do is
Hmm.
talk. And what do? They do. And you wouldn't know what. And this is the thing. Listen to this, because now I know you wouldn't care about this, but this is the brothers out here. Look at this. Listen to this. Now he got fired.
Respect,
All right.
right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me sad is, even in trying to adjust to be at least
That's
more,
a football player who spent his whole life trying to hit other people and hurt them, right? And this is how he got treated when he was being quote unquote too black, you know,
respect, right?
when he
I
was not
knew,
being too black at
for
all.
lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me
Talking about
sad
some,
is, even in trying
If you
to
had your
adjust
own,
to
you'd be
be at
whoever
least
you wanted to
more
be.
of what certain people wanted, they still fired me.
still
So
fired him anyway.
I think that
Yep.
Much as he
that is
didn't listen to that. Listen, he said, as much as I changed who I am to fit in,
adjust to
they
be
still
at
fired
least
me.
more of what certain people wanted, they still fired
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yep.
So I think that is difficult.
Oh
I think
boy.
it's about
I
some
mean,
of who I am, and it's about certain executives not connecting to that, not supporting that,
Oh, well, no
not wanting
surprise
to
for that.
champion that, not wanting to give
2026,
that
Cassandra, can you believe this?
the
but wait a minute. Hold
vast
on, folks. What about Nolan's mom? Nolan's mom is trying to find out who murdered her son. They're calling her racist because she didn't sit down and take that shit. Because Ben Crump is filing charges on their asses. They're calling her job. They're giving her bad reviews. They are literally emailing this woman all kind of negative, nasty comments because you're not white enough. You wanting to find out who murdered your son. You bought in Ben Crump to put eyes on Mississippi. The governor said, I'm getting ready to ask him to leave. Why? Because he's putting he's looking at Mississippi, putting eyes on Mississippi over the whole world, and you guys are looking like what you're used to doing, you're doing. Because you had a black kid say, guess what? Wherever country, whatever side of town they live on, he said they cover their own. They take care of their own. And yes, white folk take care of their own. They got a whole tape of them boys murdering him, and nobody's in fucking jail. But I'm gonna tell you what, wouldn't have to be in jail because I will take care of it myself. And yes, I'm saying it because I mean it. I wouldn't be the only one picking out caskets, I guarantee you that. But it would be an accident, just like you told my son, it's an accident. His throat is missing. They did a whole autopsy. You took the throat and you kept the lungs. Why? Because you know that that boy was murdered. And if they sent that throat, they would see that it wasn't there. It was cracked or whatever. Something, the boy died some kind of way. Why you hold the throat? Ain't no reason. Because we going to cover it up. We going to make sure this white boy who's on a foot, he was in, he's really good, I guess, at football. So his daddy didn't play pros. He's getting ready to play pro. He done went out and murdered this black boy. Now he didn't mess his life up, but you getting ready to cover it up. Guess what? Hmm. just like my son would. What the hyenas do? Yeah, the hyena would do what they do.
No,
We're not
no,
playing this
Cassandra.
game with y'all. We got a whole tape. Go arrest them boys, or we gonna and until black folk get serious about this shit right here, you got a whole tape. Either you take care of him, or we gonna take care of him. That's exactly where black folk need to be right now. We need to be burning America down globally. Globally, we're not just gonna do it in Mississippi. We're gonna do it in Louisiana. We're gonna do it in Virginia. We're gonna do it in North Carolina. We're gonna do it in South Carolina. We're gonna do it in Montana if we got some black folk there. In Georgia. That's what we need to be doing right now. Because they're trying to tell you what you heard on that tape is not true. That's AI. No, bitch. Prove it to me. The boy dead. So what I heard is what I heard. And until you arrest them boys, we're gonna burn America to the fucking ground.
Now
And I
the
rest with that.
thing is though, Cassandra, um, you know why I haven't been even talking about it is because how much evidence do we really need? Like we got like, oh well, this said this. Like you don't know what's
Well,
going
you know
on
what?
really at this point.
You
Like
got
you
a whole
know,
tape now. You got a whole
I'm
tape.
like,
If y'all don't do
but
nothing right now with this tape, I'm done. I'm done. Look, I ain't got nothing else to say. Right here, I'm watching. I'm looking. Because if black folk don't get up right now, you ain't gonna never get up. Because that could have been your child. But y'all keep on
Cassandra,
letting y'all babies hang out with these crackers. Because they smile in your face. And all the time they want to take your place. Those are backstabbers. Those are backstabbers. You sleeping next to them. You marrying them. You're allowing your babies to hang out with them when the word told you in Deuteronomy 7. Read it. Y'all keep talking about the Bible ain't true, but that I'm looking at everything that's happening now is written. Y'all better pick that Bible up and read Revelations, and it's showing you everything that you're seeing right now. Y'all keep saying it ain't real. Oh, it's real. Because I'm looking at every scripture. The scripture I read in Deuteronomy 7 told me, don't give my children to them. And what do? Everything he told you not to do, you doing. And that's why you're at the bottom. And you're going to stay at the bottom until you be obedient and come from among. Be ye separate and learn not. What we doing? Everything he told you not to do, you doing. Yeah, you get mad because I repeat the Bible. I don't care. You want to fight me, but you won't fight them. What kind of shit is that? You guys are idiots. Yes, I'm going to recite it. If you don't like it, don't listen. Because I'm sick of black folk telling me what's not true, but it's written. He told you what not to do and what to do. And you're doing the opposite. You're doing the opposite. You're letting them educate your children and they killing them. You're letting them foster your children and they killing them. You had a 13-year-old went into a foster care system, went into a home, 2 white boys. What they do? Oh, they was fighting in the house. The owner said, I was asleep. Oh, these boys fighting in silence now? You was asleep? What the hell you mean you was asleep? You're supposed to be a foster parent. You had 2 murderers that took this boy outside, stabbed him, and then drowned him. But what they doing? Fighting on silent mode? You know how much noise boys make when they fight? And you didn't hear nothing? Bitch, you need to go to jail too. You and your whole, but I think it's a senator, somebody that's in office that had that foster home. So he's okay. No, we're not taking that. You going to jail because you were supposed to keep this boy safe and you didn't. So his parents or whoever his guard, whoever his people is talking about, they want to bring charges or they want to do something. But you're not. What I want to hear is, oh man, that dude is. We have to do his funeral. We're going to pick out the casket. I'm not just
no,
talking about the 13-year-old. You feel what I'm saying? If I'm
no,
picking out a 13-year-old casket, I'm going to pick out a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old casket and the owners of the house. Because you said you told me you was asleep. You should have been keep my son. If I'm having a rough time, they take my son. Probably didn't even need to take the boy. You put him in these foster homes, across America is molesters, traffickers, and all kind of stuff going on. I've never heard one good thing about a foster care system. But I'm gonna rest with that. Y'all sit there if you want to. Sit right there and keep on letting them play this shit in your face.
no,
But I'm
Cassandra. You
safe. I'm
know,
in Africa. I'm just saying.
the thing is, like,
Y'all go ahead.
you say we need to do it, but
If I
listen,
kill somebody, what does that make me? A murder. Okay, what I can talk about it all day long. All we
I'm
do
not
is
damn.
talk.
all
White
we do
folks
is talk.
do.
All we do is now look.
Yeah.
Now you say he was going to be a football player. Now this was a football player, and look what he's reduced to. Listen
When
to
I go
this.
home, and this kid,
from the West Bank is like so
player.
accepted in New Orleans now. Like I wouldn't change that. You know,
Just to be accepted, Cassidra, it's over. You're doomed.
But do I feel
It
sorry?
sounds
Let me tell you
good. We're
something. Do I
doomed.
feel sorry for them? Do I feel sorry for them? No. You know
all I
why?
ever wanted to do is
Because
be.
you made enough money. You made enough money to where black folk could have rose up. Use them as a stepping stone. You don't stay stuck. You don't stay up under them. You use them as a stepping stone to get to where you need to be. You don't stay there. If you knew that that's how they was treating you, how much money would it have been for 10 of them to come up with their own league? You don't need white people. They got you so your brain is messed up right now. You don't even think for yourself. You can't even think for yourself. We know how to farm. You think a bunch of us will get together and buy a farm and plant our own food when you know what they're doing to the food now? No, we'll sit there and complain. Well, you know what they did to Black Wall Street. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do different? Nothing? You're going to sit up on national TV and cry how they treated you when you had fucking millions? Does that make sense? Make it
That
make
makes
sense,
perfect
Cortez.
sense.
If 10 of them guys come together and everybody bring $1 million or 10 million or whatever they need, they got the money. Bring it to the table and create your own music industry with positive music. Create your own NFL. Create your own NBA. If 15 of them is doing it, what, they gonna kill all 15? Then you hire your mafia team. Keep us safe. If that's what you got to do, hire them or make your own mafia team. Have your own armed guards around you that's black. And have the one rule: if something happened to me and you took a dime from them white folk, we coming after your whole family. We killing up your whole family. From the baby to the dog to the cat to your uncle to the last one standing of your family, we taking them out. And I guarantee you won't have no more Candace Owens. Because if you run your mouth and you come and you take a dime from them to take me out, I'm coming. Not after you, Candace, your whole family. I guarantee you, Candace, to go and sit down. And I rest with that.
Yeah, but the
It's time
problem
for us to
is,
do. You can sit there if you want to. Sit there if you want to. They playing in your face right now. And y'all sitting up there talking about, we ain't coming out there. They just want us out there to start a civil war. Well, bitch, it's time. You scared? Sound like you a scared bunch of niggas. Period. And yes, I said it. Y'all sitting over there and they still killing you. You're still drowning. They calling it suicide. An accident is a 911. Me calling 911. Hey, my friend drowned. Not me going home 2 months later. They find your body and then you tell them, yeah, he drowned. Why you didn't call 911? It was an accident. 2 months later, that's murder. That's not no accident. Black folk, they playing in your face. And you okay with it? Okay, sit there. Sit right there. As long as you sit there, I'm gonna be over here. I'm safe. Because I'm ready to do something. But I had to leave America because I knew y'all wasn't. I'm not finna see that. I'm tired. I'm living my best life right now in another country. I had to leave the country to live my best life.
well, the thing is
But I
though,
rest with that.
Cassidra, everybody want to be accepted though. That's the problem.
Well,
Listen,
be
you want to
accepted.
be
You won't be
accepted.
dead. Be accepted. You're right. Be accepted. Why they killing your babies?
Want it.
I guess you'll be grateful when it's yours.
Yeah.
On that tree. That's when you'll come together and want somebody to do something.
I wouldn't change.
Or you still forgive them. You still forgive them. Well, everybody ain't racist. All of them not like that. You're right. But can you tell which ones? Tell me which ones. Show me the ones that's not. Because all the ones that I'm looking at right now are. So you show me the ones that don't have teeth. But I rest with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, good luck with that.
If you ask me, probably the first Monday of football, when all my friends get to do something we did super special together, yeah, I'd probably change it. I'd probably work harder to when I go home.
Lord have mercy. But look, Cassidra,
I'm
so
sick of, you know what? I don't care. I'm getting ready to order P2 on something. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I don't care.
damn.
Did you do anything about it? You had millions forecast, millions.
Mm-hmm.
Did 10 of his friends get together and come up with their own lead?
They did
No.
not.
You sat there and cried with millions in your pocket. Make that make sense. I could see if this man was poor and he was on welfare and he didn't have a job, he wasn't working. Yeah, you can cry like that. But when you got millions in your pocket and you sitting up there doing this, that makes no sense to me. You could have did something about it. But what did you do? You sat right there and played their game. And now what you got? Because most of them, I'm gonna tell you what, most of them, they get them married to them white women because guess what? When you divorce, they're gonna give them half, and they do. That one boy wasn't married a whole year, and his woman got, oh gosh, she told him up, didn't she? This is a black guy, just married her, but they told her not to. Just married her. That woman got almost, oh, she got so much. It was pitiful what they did to her. But that's what they do. That's why they give y'all them white women. That's why they introduce you because your wealth gonna go right back to her, or you gonna lose it. Just like Wesley Snipes went to jail. A lot of them black guys, once they get into acting and stuff. Bill Cosby, look at them. Look what look at him. They put him in jail, didn't they? That's what happened to a lot of black men after they get too old and they still got their married to a black woman. So we got to get his wealth some kind of way. Since he didn't marry a white woman, in jail for charges that happened, oh God, 200 years ago. That was sealed. Okay, I'm just wondering what's wrong with us. What we doing? What we doing? We sitting there with millions in our pocket complaining? What the hell? What are we doing? What is this? You crying on national instead. What did you do about it? You had millions. It wasn't like he was broke, right? He had millions. Yeah, NFL player.
Yeah, NFL player. Yeah.
I rest. And you had
And look,
millions. And you crying? That don't make sense to me. It
and look,
don't.
check it out. And look, this brother, all right, so this brother here, right? He a basketball player, right? So he said, "Oh, I'm gonna make a Black Wall Street in well now he said in Boston, Massachusetts, which don't really make sense. But he at least he said I'm gonna start doing black stuff, you know what I'm saying? But what they tried to say was like his problem was he was too smart, you know what I'm saying? Shut up and dribble, Negro, you know.
Well, why did he even say it? Why not just do it?
Yeah,
Like,
good
just do it.
question.
You can't tell them crackers what you're doing. You can't. You should have just built it and had 10 of your friends, 15 of your friends, team members. Let's pool our monies together. Let's build it. We're not going to say nothing. We're going to just do it, and then you won't look done. That's what you got to do. Shut up sometimes and dribble. Why you dribbling?
Yeah.
Build while you dribbling. Don't say nothing. You friends together, and that city would have been done. Do you hear me? Don't say a word. Build your city, and then it's done. What they gonna do? You put your armed security around it. First thing is first, armed security. So when they come, you put the little trespassing signs up. So when they trespass, you can handle your business. Period. With your armed security. Done. I didn't talk about it. I just did it. We don't have to talk about everything. Just do it. Shut up and dribble, but build. Why are you dribbling? And you look up and it's built. It's done. What you gonna do about it now? Now we can talk about it because it's already done. And the armed security knows shoot to kill. Shoot to kill. We have our own cities. You get your own government. You get your own black mayor. You get your own councilmen. You get your own black president. You have your own. Everything black. And you build. Period. That's the only way to do it. You build in silence. You move in silence. But I rest. Go ahead.
Nah, facts, facts. And shouts out to Karma 804 in the building. And
Welcome.
Matron said there is no consciousness towards race loyalty. Every black person is trained to be rugged individual. They miseducate the masses and then they lose everything. Said we won't
But you know what I
even live
find out over
together to
here?
make money to go further. They kick us out, our children at 18 with nothing. Go ahead.
But you know what I see? You know what I see over here? Communal living. They live in one house. They don't kick their child out at 18. They build. And you know what they do? They build one flat. And then once the daughter or the son gets grown and he wants to get married, they build another flat. That's where the son and daughter lives. I mean, that's where the son and his wife live. Then when the daughter wants to get married, they build on top of that. So you got 3 levels. And they're keeping the money in the house. Everybody pulling their monies together. But we so busy being individualized because white folk taught you that. Because that's what they do. They send their children to boarding school, but they have millions while they're in boarding school, don't they? You're not going to boarding school broke. They taking your millions, your millions that you buying in your hair. Do you know how much money y'all made Asians? 262, what it billion millions of dollars. It was so much money. That was crazy money that we could have put that in our own community. But we won't. We'd rather take care of them and send their children to college and buy $1 million homes for them. But this is what they do here. They do communal living. It's not 18, you leave. You bring your money to the table so that we can build you a flat on top of ours. We buy land right behind us, so we keep it on the grounds. It's all one. That's what they do. But we so busy trying to kick our babies out with nothing. No, you leave them at home. You go to college. You take a trade school. You don't even have to go to college. Take a trade, a 10-month trade. Get your own business. Buy some land so that the whole family can live on that land. Even if you want to build your own home, you can buy land. Buy it right next door to your mom. Right next door. The money is still in the family. You don't have to leave and go to Florida when you're in Texas. We don't have to leave at all. We can buy up the land, the lot next door, and we can live. And the next person buy the next lot. We can all live on the same block. We can live in the same community. But that's not what we're doing. You sending your baby out there with nothing. So guess what? Where's the generational wealth? Did you create it? Did you buy land for them? I bought my daughters. I bought 3 lots. Three. Each one of them have a plot. My 2 daughters and my granddaughter have a plot. That's generational wealth. But I didn't buy it in America because I know America's done. Why would I buy something in that? Why would I? Why would I spend a dime there? I bought it in a black country run by black people. And it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to do it. But that's creating generational wealth. But I
Hey,
rest. Go ahead.
no, Cassidra. All right. Now before we get to the history part, and I ain't gonna be too long with the history part, right? Because I want to make you turn up a little bit more. I want to show you something. The you probably ain't trying to hear it though, but it's something that has to be heard though. So I want you to see this, right? First, this sister, right? It's 2 sisters here. So I want you to hear what this first sister has to say.
Tell you something, it's a damn shame how many black people are coming in my box talking shit to me because I am actually happy that I am living in a neighborhood that is clean, beautiful, clear, quiet, and it just so happened to be around nothing but white people. And I got black people trying to make me feel bad because I wanted to raise my son in an environment where I don't want him thinking smoking and being a prostitute and then keeping your neighborhood
I
dirty
guess
and
smoking
crime
meth is
hiding
cool,
around
but
disturbing the
not
peace
crack.
and
Exactly.
put
That's
your
what I was
hands
thinking.
under your
I
ass
get
and you
that
walking around
fentanyl.
being
Yeah, go
bunnies,
ahead.
being a bunch
I
of
guarantee you her
dirty
son not
sex
happy.
and your bad
PTSD.
kids is normal. Look at my
PTSD.
damn son. Look at my child. My child is living a life, and you think I'm wrong for that? So as you saw.
Mm, mm, mm. I don't even know what to say. We already see what happened. Go
Now
call Nolan mama.
you
Go
have to
tell her
see this,
call Nolan
Cassidra.
mama.
This is like we went to the future to get a glimpse of her child at school. So check this out, right? So this is from the future, y'all. This is her son. Hold on, it ain't gonna play now, but now it's gonna freeze up. All right, here you go. All right, come on.
Get on your knees and kiss my shoe. 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 Get on your knees and kiss my shoe. Kiss my shoe.
My bad. This from the future, y'all. That's why I was freezing up. So now it's clear. This her son in the future.
Get on your knees and kiss my shoe. 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 Oh yeah. Kiss the shoe. Chile. Right over under Molly. Kiss the shoe. Kiss my shoe. Kiss my shoe. Kiss my shoe. You're getting whacked. Kiss the shoe.
Cassidra. You see that?
Oh God, I would kill my son. I would just kill him. I would kill him. I would kill him dead. He's done. His mama should have swallowed.
Well, his mama took him out there, so
I would kill my son.
yo, Cassidra, okay. Before you go off,
That's
right?
disgusting.
It gets worse though,
Oh,
right?
goodness.
Before we go to the history thing, it gets a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, look, watch this. Check this one out, right? Check this good sister out here.
What could be the worst that we just saw?
It's even worse.
Oh my God.
Check this out.
Kill you. This is probably gonna kill you.
Is it?
Just on a date with our good white man. Now, I know you probably don't know what's going on. Now, this is her first date with this random white boy off of a dating app. And she agreed to go running into the woods and he said, "This is where I'm going to kill you at." Hold on, because I don't think I have. Let me see.
First date was a run through a wooded trail.
There we
But when
go.
people warned her to be careful, she defended him instead. The woman
She defended him when people told her, dude was probably, it's the first time she ever met him. He said, "This is where I was going to kill you at." And she said it was a joke.
met the white man through Hinge, and their first date was a run through a wooded trail. At one point, the man ran ahead and led her into a quiet area. He then turned around and told her, "This is where I was going to kill you." When she reacted, he first asked if she was recording. After learning that she was, he quickly said he was only joking. That detail made many viewers even more concerned since they believed he only changed his words after noticing the camera. However, the woman later defended him in the comments. She said people were taking the video too seriously and needed to understand that it was only a joke. She has also posted another video showing that she went on a second date.
Very funny, right?
Many viewers could not
went out with
understand
him
the
again.
decision. Some asked how afraid of being alone someone must be to ignore such a warning. Others said a kind and normal person would never joke about killing a woman during a first date in a remote area. After she continued to defend him, several commenters made dark jokes that they were now waiting for a new true crime documentary about the couple. What do you think?
Another thing you will never
No.
I'm waiting on the funeral. He told you literally he told you what he was going to do, and you said it was a joke. Okay, you that desperate? That's sad. That's so sad on all levels. Her mom must be so disappointed because she raised an idiot. She raised an idiot. That's the saddest thing when a man tell you truth and you'll turn around and defend the truth because you're so desperate for a white man that he can literally threaten your life on the camera, and tell you I'm just joking because he found out you was taping and you believe him because that's how desperate you are. So when you come up dead, then what we gonna say? Nothing. You know why? Because you didn't care enough to keep yourself safe. So what can I say? If you like it, I love it. I'm going to dinner. I'm ordering pizza. Anybody want some? That's what I would say once I found out that she was dead. I'm ordering pizza. I'm gonna go about my day. Because he told you what he was gonna do when you first met him. And you said it was a joke. Okay, it's a joke. So now what? It's an accident, right? It was an accident. He stabbed he made an accident, he accidentally stabbed her to death. Or he hung on a tree.
What kind
Or
of
she
jokes do
drowned.
they be having? Damn. The
That's
boy
a
said it
joke.
was a joke when he
Hey, that's
got
funny.
pushed in the water too. He said that was a joke too.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's how they play. You come up dead, they playing. We just playing. You couldn't swim, nigga. What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Ain't that what the man said? Okay, hey, they was joking. Okay. I would just consider it a joke. He said it was a joke. Okay. It was an accident. Oh, I don't care. Okay.
Hey, so the two surviving people of these white friends both said it was jokes. So that's all I can tell. Now, Cassidra, this is your choice. You want to go to history, or do you want to see a couple of these white friends? There's more of them.
We can
This
see a
brother
couple more.
here,
Let's see a couple more. Let's do it.
and this
Let's
brother
do it.
here.
Let's see a
Okay.
couple more. It's kind of funny now. It's funny now. Because you know better. And you make a
One of these teenagers is no longer alive after being
That's
held
what's right.
underwater until he lost his life. The other teenager is currently in jail facing a serious charge. This case is out of Modoc, South Carolina. At approximately 7 a.m. on Monday, July 20th, McCormick County deputies were called out to a dock in the Modoc Shores area of Strom-Thurmond Lake. That's when they found the body of 13-year-old Daryl Lowry. According to arrest warrants, Daryl had gotten into a physical confrontation with 17-year-old Landon Austin Moore and another teenager who is 16 years old and has not been named. Authorities say that Daryl suffered laceration wounds from a knife during this altercation, but the documents don't lay out who caused those injuries or what led to this confrontation. They say that ultimately both Landon Austin Moore and the unnamed 16-year-old held Daryl underwater until he drowned. Moore was arrested, charged with murder, and taken to the McCormick County Detention Center. Bond has been denied so far, but may be reconsidered at a later date by a circuit court judge. The unnamed 16-year-old was transported to the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice, but because they're a minor, we don't know their name or their specific charges
Oh
at
no,
this
you're not a
time.
minor no more.
In a
You're
brief
going up for
statement, the
murder
McCormick
charges
County
as an
Sheriff's Office.
adult.
Yeah.
Because if that had been a black boy, they killed a white boy. They would have him up for murder as an adult, right? Even though Carmelo Anthony was under age when he murdered, what's that boy? When he self-defended himself, they put his name out there, didn't they? Okay, so what do you mean underage? What's the problem? You put his name and his face out there, but you don't want to put the 16-year-olds out there? BS. BS. He murdered somebody. He's not a minor anymore. That's a grown man getting ready to serve an adult sentence in an adult facility. You did the same thing to him. So when are we going to check that behavior? When are we going to check the justice system? If you do it for one, you do it for all. We're so okay with that. Somebody need to pull up that 16-year-old's picture and put it out there so we can see it. Because that's an adult. That was a criminal activity of adults. But I rest.
And is how much more evidence do we need? We don't got to do 1,000
the one that
videos
said
on
the
all the
owner,
evidence. I'm just saying.
and those are the ones that the owners, who the parents was there, said they were asleep. Oh, you sleep through a fight? Do boys fight in silence? You know they was knocking some shit over, and you sleep. You didn't get up, say, hey, what's going on here? No, they probably because they racist themselves. Quit putting your children in these white foster homes. We
For
should have
all I
our
know,
own foster system.
Neanderthals probably sleep upside down for all I know, so they probably couldn't hear nothing. I don't know.
Exactly.
So they be so
Probably
used to
was
being in
terrible.
those caves. But look, this is another brother. Now this was like a year
Teenager
ago.
Malachi Lancaster, who died in a hunting accident last year,
Not the Jamaican brother, by the way, that y'all know about, but this
speaking
is
with us
another young brother.
We now have copies of both the Florida Fish and Wildlife and Alachua County Sheriff's
That brother
Office
was named Peter
involving his
something.
death. TV20's Kayla Lewis joins us now live in the studio. And Kayla, will any criminal
What you say?
Peter Spencer, remember that one?
Yeah,
He
Peter
got
Spencer.
shot 9
Yes.
times in the back. He was
Yeah.
fishing in one of them with the white boy. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a whole nother case, y'all. So not to get
Oh
confused with
wow.
the other brother hunting with the
Oh.
Neanderthals.
Charges be filed?
FWC officials say
It's
no
a kids
criminal charges
game.
will be
Black
filed
people
because
kills
no
capital
findings show the
murder.
incident was not criminal, but a tragic accident. However, Lancaster's family say they still have unanswered questions. Due to the varying stories from the 16-year-old friend who was hunting with Malachi at the time of the accident on December 8th, 2024. Family members say this witness originally told everyone Lancaster fell from a tree stand, and that's when the gun went off. But according to the FWC report, investigators determined Lancaster was holding a rifle when it fired, striking and killing him while walking in the woods during a hunting trip. The report says Lancaster...
So he fell off a thing and the gun went off and hit him. But then he was just walking in the woods and the gun just went off and hit him somehow.
How does a rifle? This is a fucking rifle. Did you not know how long a rifle is? How do you shoot yourself with a rifle? Do you guys realize how long a rifle is? That don't make sense. The rifle barrel, you can't even reach the barrel and the how do you shoot yourself with a rifle? You guys, come on now. And that was okay. Didn't I just tell you guys they're gonna tell you whatever they want to tell you, and you're gonna believe it because I'm white and I say so. I can shoot you, kill you in front of you, and tell you it's an accident, and you'll believe me. How was that an accident? And nobody did anything. His family didn't say nothing. Family didn't do nothing. Okay, so why do we care? His family allowed it. So what's the big deal? I told you I wouldn't be the only one picking out caskets. Didn't I just tell you that? Okay. But it's an accident. He has a rifle. You guys pull up a rifle on your phones and see how long a rifle is. And see how you can literally shoot yourself. You can't. But go ahead. Go ahead. Let's move forward. Okay. There's an accident.
Now this happened in North Carolina, where this was like a year ago now, where they was trying to lynch this black couple, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how much more evidence that we need. They're trying to kill him. She should kick him in the face right now, like, you know what I mean? But first of all, he shouldn't have been down there in the first place, but she got to kick him full force in the face right now to save his life.
He can breathe just fine, yeah.
Now, if you ever see, like, now, I'll apologize afterwards if I'm ever in that situation, but make sure you kick him full force in the face, you know what I'm saying? If you ever see me like that, you know what I mean? But maybe I shouldn't have been just in that situation in the first place, you know?
He's just having a panic attack.
Anyway, Cassidra, so you want to say something before we go to the history part?
I don't even know what to say. I ain't got nothing to say. Just I don't
I
I don't
got
even
you,
know what to say.
Nicole. I got you, Nicole. All right, so let's go to the history part. I'm gonna let her pick this up.
Children learn at school and online. Ask any young person what history they learned at school, and they'll tell you Hitler. Ask them what else? Slavery. Ask them what else? American civil rights. In fact, what little they know of history will be all about black and brown people fighting for equality against the white man. Women fighting men for the vote. Gay and trans people fighting for various rights. Our young people have been taught that history is simply one long story about various groups struggling under the oppressive dead white man. Out with Dickens, Shakespeare, Kipling, and Wordsworth. We must decolonize. History is taught through an oppressor lens. The triangular slave trade, white men held the power. What about Britain ending the slave trade? More than a quick mention, if at all? No. What of the Arab slave trade that lasted 3 times as long as the triangular slave trade? No. Okay, so GCSE history in Britain is often taught as migration through time. So the idea that Britain has always been a land of immigrants is embedded in our children's heads. Most schools would prefer to concentrate learning
All
on the
right.
use of models.
Anyway, the point is, right? They address the situation when their children, right, or their kids, they don't have children, the little Neanderthals are being taught anti them, But I would want us to start looking at it from the lens of not being offended by it, but like, why would I want them to tell me who my heroes is in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they will tell me some other people who are not my heroes. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna tell me about Sheriff Lucius. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell me the real story
Nah, that's just
about
like
the brothers. You
education.
know what I'm saying? So
That's right. They're not gonna tell you about the Deacons of Defense.
nope,
They're not gonna tell you about NFAC. They're not gonna tell you about this stuff.
nope. They ain't gonna tell
This
you
is why
about
you
David
educate your
Walker.
This is why you educate your own children, so that you can keep the history out there so that they never forget it. Because what you don't know, you're bound to repeat it. But hey, we insist on still
Yes.
allowing them to educate
Boy.
our children.
Now, Cassidra, to give some context about why we seen some of the stuff that we seen today. So let's go to the history part as fast as I can. I ain't gonna go too much.
And this white guilt that they had to deal with, them seeing all of these rebellions taking place globally caused even more white fear and paranoia, afraid that the slaves on their plantation was going to rebel against them or start poisoning them. And by this point, they was blaming everything on the enslaved population, well, the black population, period. And whether it was real or they just imagined it, right? They still tried to take it out on black people. Now, in 1793, when a bunch of fires broke out in Albany, New York, or as they call it, the Albany Fire of 1793, some people say the burning of Albany. But during this fire, at least 26 homes and businesses got destroyed. Now, even though nobody knew how the fire started, they started rounding up random black people and interrogating them. And of course, they started enforcing stricter laws and instituting earlier curfews for black people. And this is up north in New York. Now, eventually, they blamed the fire on 2 enslaved little children, 2 young black girls, a young sister named Dina, who was 14, and another young black girl named Bet, who was only 12 years old. And without any evidence, they straight up lynched these 2 young black children, 2 little girls. And then about a month later,
You hear that, Cassidra? They lynched 2 little girls just because they thought it was a fire, And then later they
And we
hung like
allowed
a
it.
16-year-old boy and didn't think twice about it.
And we allowed it. We allowed it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying history
We
keep
don't ever
repeating,
stand for nothing, dude. We never stand for anything. Look what they doing to you now. But go ahead.
Yeah.
and then 12-year-old black girl and a 16-year-old young black boy, and they lynched them. Now, understand that despite all of this, right, black people continue to fight back and to do anything that they could to get their freedom. And a lot of black people were just simply running away or just escaping, including from the lying slave-owning president, George Washington. Slaves ran away from his plantation all the time.
We've tended to be a little uncomfortable talking about George Washington and slavery. When we think about the presidents who owned slaves, George Washington, as the first president, did indeed own slaves, as did his wife. At the time of his death, there were nearly 300 enslaved people living at Mount Vernon. So he was a large slaveholder. The Washingtons' relentless pursuit of their runaway.
All right, it's gonna talk about this.
She would wash her hair. She would sew her clothing. She was there 24/7. She was always present, but really supposed to be never seen, which was the role and the responsibility of what we call domestic slaves who worked inside of the household. So when Ona learns that she's going to
You was supposed to be the worker, but never seen. You know what I'm saying? Shut up and dribble, boy. You know, or you're gonna be crying on TV talking. So I was just wanted to
Right.
be
Even if I was in
accepted.
your pocket.
to allow
Wait. I got $1 million, but I'm crying about what white folk doing to me. What in the world? That's not the dumbest thing ever. What a slave. The
Yeah.
slave man. Oh,
History
why
doesn't see. We're gonna talk about that. All right, so let me get to that part
makes the
so we
decision.
can because this is just talking about
Threatened like the lying president does. He was supposed to be strict and violent, and he often threatened his slaves, especially the younger slaves, especially the younger boys.
so
But he
basically ever since the first president it's been like, you know, terrible.
often
Basically.
threatened them with violence, or he would threaten to send them to Jamaica. And one time he told a 15-year-old enslaved boy named Ben, when he got caught fighting, that if he didn't stop, he would ship him off as he did Jack the Wagoneer for the West Indies. Now, when George Washington was trying to track down these quote unquote,
No, Cassidra, I'll stop you right there, right? And the thing is, right, something we got to talk about, which we seen with the brother, you know, one thing that they would ship them to these plantations for was to break these men's spirits, you know what I'm saying? Is what they would call, as y'all would know, buck breaking, you know what I'm saying? Where you would see these like these buck broken males of today come from, you know what I mean? Like of just wanting to be accepted, you know, because
The institution of slavery in America was a dark chapter in history marked
can't
by
just leave it at
unimaginable cruelty.
we are
Among the
screwed,
countless
but we got to figure out
atrocities
why,
inflicted
you know.
upon enslaved individuals, one particularly dehumanizing practice was buck breaking. This barbaric act involved the sexual violation of enslaved men aimed to emasculate them and assert dominance. Despite this subjugation, however, many enslaved men displayed remarkable resilience. Buck breaking was a method used by slave owners to exert control over their male slaves. By subjecting them to sexual assault, masters sought to strip away their masculinity and assert their power. This brutal practice caused immense physical pain and left deep emotional scars on its victims. Despite their trauma, many enslaved men found ways to resist and maintain their dignity. Some rebelled covertly
I don't know
through
about
acts of
that.
sabotage or escape attempts. Others defied their oppressors by preserving cultural traditions or practicing religion in secret. These acts served as powerful expressions of resistance against an oppressive system.
Maybe they resisted back then, but Cassandra, I'm just saying this is the where is it at? This is the result of today, you know what I'm saying? We got this is the buck breaking of today.
And this kid, you know, from the West Bank,
Ain't even gotta send you to Jamaica no more, boy.
accepted in New Orleans now.
I just wanted to be accepted and loved.
I wouldn't change that. You know, never. You know, like all I ever wanted to do was be accepted. You know, and want it. So yeah, like that, I wouldn't change. You know.
So that's just to give you an example of buck breaking right there in modern terms, you know. And y'all could I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the whole history about it, you know.
Have you ever pondered the depths of human cruelty? Today, we United States. This exploration will not be for the faint. Enslaved African American men, labeled as bucks, were subjected to this horrifying practice, which was as much psychological as it was physical. The aim was clear: to emasculate and control these men, stripping them of their dignity and reducing them to mere objects of domination. The process
Basically shut up and dribble, you know. So it's not coming out of nowhere, you know what I mean? So and that's what George Washington used to threaten his
Of
slaves
course, they
with, you
still
know.
doing it today. They still doing it today. It's not done.
Nope. And straight bucks have
They
been
still doing
broken.
he
that
would
today.
often publish
Ain't
an
nothing changed.
ad for
Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah, you want to say something?
I said they still doing this today. It's not. It didn't change. They passed it down and taught their sons. They taught their children how to buck break your sons, and they still doing it today. Look at Nolan. They was talking about Nolan. Let me tell you one thing. This boy, they was trying to. They had planned this outing, right? But the day of, everybody, they was trying to get away from him. They was trying to leave the boy and not take him, right? Because and they think they killed him over this girl, Katie, right? Because the one guy used to date the guy, right? Used to date the young lady. So everybody that morning, nobody answered the phone. So Nolan got a ride over one of the other boys' friends' houses. Now this guy, what they was trying to avoid him. They weren't even trying to take him on the boat. He forced his way on the boat. Who does that? If your friends ain't calling you back, why the hell you on the boat? That makes no sense. This is how stupid. This is how dumb. Why are we raising kids that they're stupid? If you call your friend and you supposed to hang out and they didn't answer the phone, house, I'm gonna be like, dude, you didn't answer the phone. So I'm gonna go do something else. That's not what he did. He
Cassidra,
found a ride over there. Who
I
did
hate to
that?
say it. I hate to say it, but we sat in restaurants to get white people food. You know what I'm saying? So like, he
Exactly.
probably would have had to sit
So
in if they ain't let him on the damn boat. I'm just saying.
it's you to feed them their shit. They who you could just imagine what they to that food. Just imagine. Use your imagination. You got a soda. They gave you a soda with some other stuff in it. Could you imagine you
I
drinking that?
look, hey, I had a video, but I didn't even play it because I was like, I ain't even gonna play it right now. But I'll show you how they can make their food, but I ain't even gonna pull it up because it's
Did you
too
see
much
the
stuff.
Chinese food? Did you see that video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh my God! I'm glad that one was. But this is what we did. We forced them feed us their food. We paid them for their spit. We paid them dropping our food on the floor. We paid them for sweeping up the trash and putting it in the Chinese food. We paid for that. And you ate it faithfully. Saw something in it, you still ate it. I'm just saying, you guys, come on. What's wrong with us? Our ancestors separated us for a reason. And then we had one Negro that was paid by them that y'all love today that came and told you he had a dream and y'all believed it. You said, well, let's try it again. You guys are idiots and you're still trying it. Knowing now that they're killing your children and you still sending them to their schools. You still sending them to their schools. Why? You still give your child to them every day. Why? We can't think of nothing else, no other way to be free. We are not that stupid. You, but now you act like you don't know how to build nothing else. Project you built failed, but build it back better. You don't just stop building because the first project didn't last. You find out your mistakes and you do it better next time. You don't just give up. Black Wall Street, we built that. That was a success. Yeah, they tore it down, but what? Okay, let's go back to the building. Go back to the building board. What could we do better next time? Next time, we put security, armed guards around it first, and then we handle our business. They come over here. We know what they're coming for. You do what you gotta do. What do the hyenas and lions do? That's what you do. You treat them like a hyena. I rest with that.
All right, so and I think it's like about a
For
few
their
more minutes
return.
of this, and then we'll
He
wrap it up.
usually asks for them not to be shown
I'll
north
skip
of
ahead.
Virginia, I guess to affect his voting or whatever it is.
The enslaved African of America's first president, George Washington, was known as Harry Washington. It's believed that he was born in the region around the Gambia River around 1740. He was brought to America early in the 1760s on one of the shipments to the lower Potomac River area in 1760 and 1761. Late in 1763, George Washington purchased Harry from the estate of Daniel Tebbs, a plantation owner on the lower Potomac River. Harry was later described as a very valuable hostler, so his job must have included looking after Washington's horses. He continued to work as a house servant until June 1771, when he appeared in a list of the enslaved laborers on Ferry Plantation, most distant of the Mount Vernon farms. For Harry to be moved from skilled work to grueling plantation labor must have dismayed him greatly, and perhaps became the motivation for his planned escape. George Washington paid for a search party to retrieve him, and in a matter of weeks, Harry was captured and returned. Ironically, after some time, he was returned to the house to labor there. George Washington spoke openly about Americans asserting their rights, and Harry no doubt heard about disgruntled Virginians during this time. Harry,
1795, an ordinance was passed that outlawed enslaved people from congregating, and if anybody was caught, they received 39 lashes, and their owner was fined $3. And most times, if anybody helped a runaway slave, they would be punished much harsher than that, especially another black person. Now, even though I'm not
Now, this is another thing, right? So one thing, right? And so you still see it today where it's like a group of black people was considered illegal to gather together, you know what I'm saying? And we still find that hard today to come together to do anything, you know? And like I said, all of this stuff, I blame them for everything, and there's a reason why, you know what I mean? But you know, they had to think about where it couldn't be 3 or more slaves together and all sorts of stuff like that. Now I was trying to find a video, but it was, I guess, hard to find that quick. But just the fact that you being together is considered illegal, you know what I'm saying? Black unity was always the plan, right? Black disunity. So one thing that they have always planned to do is divide us, keep us divided, you know what I mean? Now this is later, but that's why I don't even get into this whole diaspora war thing, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of black people do, and they have issues with us, you know what I'm saying? But even now, like, you know, you have the black British people, you know what I'm saying, going at the talking about the acting thing to not talk about, I guess, more serious stuff, but even just stuff like this, you know, where black people go at each other.
Beautiful.
It's not out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Because
Here we go.
vision is
Make a list of like
meant to
the
be.
best black people. A lot of them are African Americans. Yeah. But if you make a list of the worst.
But anyway, we're not gonna get into that whole thing right now, you know. But I will play this one though, so check this one out, you know.
So I have a question that's been on my mind for a while, and I've been meaning to ask it. To the black people that support unity, that want unity between all communities, how is that working out for you? What has unity done for black people in the UK? Don't worry, I'll wait. And I'm talking about as a collective. Have any of these communities that you speak of that want unity done anything solely for black people or in support of black people? Because as far as I can see, when it comes to our economic benefit, they only take from us. When it comes to our educational standards, they try to dumb down our kids. When it comes to entertainment and ownership, oh, we can't have that. So really and truly, I want you to think about this really deeply. What has unity actually done for black people? Because in my eyes, it's done more harm than good. Let me go even further. In the world, what has unity done for black people in the world? What country has said, you know what, black people, come to us. We will protect you. We will love you. We will keep you safe. What race has done that? Sorry, not country, race. What race has done that? Since unity is all we need. What non-black nation has said, you know what? come, it's all right. We will protect you.
I
We
wouldn't go
see
if
how
they
you
did tell you
treated
to
all
come.
over the world, and we want to stamp out racism once and for all.
Yeah.
Not never.
It'd be too many it'd be too dirty and too many animals running
Hey,
around.
you couldn't give me land in some of these white countries. You couldn't give me a house.
There'd be no
Stay
washcloths in
outside.
the whole country. No soap. Oh,
Oh
damn.
my God.
All right.
That's crazy.
All right.
But hey, we still drinking that Kool-Aid though. But Martin
Yeah.
Luther King tell you, one day we're gonna be holding hands with a little white boy and white girl. I had a
Yeah,
dream.
well, you holding your hand till you fall under the water, and I'll tell you that. But
Hanging on them trees.
at least you get to hold a hand before you go, I guess, you know.
And tired of everyone being invited to the cookout for the most basic things. I love the shirt. I love the message. Keep what's ours, and teach it to our youth. And yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Also, I want to give you a code.
All right, so yeah, basically, unity. So I want to show you this last
Go
part, and
in
then
too
we'll
deep
wrap it
on
up,
the
y'all.
Haitian Revolution in this session. There is a couple things that I wanted to mention, right, that was happening at the same
At least one
time.
thing.
And, you know, just to see the effects that it has on Black people in America and globally. And one of the issues that we do need to discuss, now, historically, there has always been a complicated dynamic between the mixed population mulattoes and Black people, which played out in America, but not only in America, but throughout the world, including in Haiti. Now, when we was talking about it last time, right, Toussaint and the Haitians had taken.
Right, and I'm not gonna go into the mulatto thing. That's not what I wanted to say. But y'all already know that I will start the trouble with y'all beloved mulattoes. Because if you have a drop of white blood, then you're white. I'm saying if you got a drop of Asian blood, then you're Asian. You need two Black parents to be Black.
I'm only
I'm just
white.
saying.
Like I said, you're lighter color. Everybody in this car, no, it's not. Not you. Not you. Is Black and white. No, you're not. You're just white.
You're just
No,
white,
I'm not.
girl.
Let me explain. All right. Okay, thank you. Let me talk. It's not about the color of your skin. That's not what it has to do with. It has to do with your parents. So granddad is Black.
And the color of your skin a part of your appearance?
Correct. Granddad is Black.
Grandma is white.
They had me. So they came together and had me. It doesn't matter how I came out looking, but that means I am mixed with a Black culture and a white culture. Black and white parents.
Yeah, how confused she is.
It's not about coloring on the paper and how I look and all that. It's not about mixing colors like that. It's about who your parents are and where you came from.
So, mommy.
Yes.
Because you grew up like that. So you're not only white, but you're Black and white. But are you more like whiter?
Yes. So that was the trouble they was having. The mulattoes was confused, and they didn't realize that if you have a drop of white blood, then
But
you're
he
white.
felt that he should be in control over Toussaint because he was biracial and Toussaint was a Black.
What'd you say?
They ain't Black. I don't care what you call them. It takes two to make a whole. So I don't know if those are mutts.
Yeah, a new species.
Man. And at one point,
y'all call them Arabs, Mexicans, and other stuff
even
like
captured
that.
a general,
Puerto Ricans,
one of Toussaint's General
Indians,
or I'm sorry again for the pronunciation,
Blasians and stuff. You know,
and charged him with tyranny just because he addressed.
So I want to show you another part. This is important, so maybe I'll come back later.
As a nation or a power of their own. But John Adams recognizing Haiti terrified people like Thomas Jefferson. Now, good old TJ was afraid and angry because he was saying the energy of the Haitian Revolution was spread globally, and it was going to influence the Negroes in America to do the same thing against them.
As vice president,
And it should have.
Thomas
But
Jefferson
did it?
urged Congress to cut off trade with Toussaint.
At the time it did, but I
Black
don't know what
slaves
happened
on the
since.
island mixing with American slaves in southern ports was a threat that could not be contained, he
Now we
argued.
crying.
But
Well,
the
we need
trade
to
was
bring
too
them back so
profitable,
we can remember.
and Congress
Because we done
refused.
forgot.
Jefferson's fear was that Black Americans, like Gabriel, would be inspired by what they saw
Gabriel
taking place
Prosser.
just off the shore of America. And he spent virtually his entire career trying to shut down any contact and therefore any movement of information between the American mainland and the Caribbean island.
So you see, like the misinformation between Black people globally, they always played the middleman to spread this misinformation, you know. And guess who's always a part of it to make money on both sides of the war that you're fighting, you know,
In
because the
1881,
goal is to
weeks
stop
after Jefferson's
communication.
inauguration as America's third president, he was visited by Napoleon
It's
Bonaparte,
not new, y'all.
representative in
He
America,
way worse than Trump, by the way, y'all. I'm just saying.
of Washington. Napoleon, the first consul of France, was seeking Jefferson's help in reimposing slavery in Saint-Domingue. After the meeting, the envoy wrote to Napoleon that Jefferson promised that all necessary measures would be taken to starve out Toussaint and to aid the French army.
Well, it's ironic that despite Jefferson's own hostility to the Saint-Domingue Haitian Revolution, that the signal achievement of his administration was very much based on the success of that revolution.
Oh, and by the way, y'all, just so y'all can get a modern thing of reinstating slavery, I want you to see today how Negroes is scared
What is he
today,
made with
you know,
the GOP1?
because you know, not Thomas Jefferson, but it's
Johnson, great state of Georgia. He proclaims we'll be back in the cotton fields. Listen to this.
It's a GOP war on Black America. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're going to be back in the cotton fields. And when I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about
you lost already.
taking it to the streets in protest, and also by exercising our precious right to vote. We're going to have to get out.
We should start saying the least justice, the most peace, because y'all damn sure lying about the most no justice, no peace. We're the most peaceful with the least justice. It's crazy.
In November and vote, like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time.
So this time it still depends on it, you know what I'm saying? It's depended on it
I don't know where
1800s.
he's been. Black people have been fighting back from day one before him, and they were still fighting back after him.
Right. So that's to that brother, and that's with arms, you know what I'm saying? So
Like I said, we're gonna get more into the Haitian Revolution and the effects globally on the next session. But you can see it's causing more and more white fear globally, including in America. Because in America, even in places that talked about quote unquote abolitionists and all of this stuff, right, they were still procrastinating on abolishing slavery. 1797, New York passed a law saying anyone born to an enslaved woman after the 4th of July, 1799, would be considered legally free. But in reality, those children would still be enslaved until the age of 28 for men and 25 for women. And for the people born before that day, they would essentially be.
you see how they be lying? They said we abolished slavery, but you were a slave until you 28 for a man, and Cassidra would have been a slave till she was 25.
Be enslaved forever, right? So if you was born July 3rd, 1799, you'd be a slave. Like for somebody like Sojourner Truth, who was born in 1797, she was supposed to be enslaved for life, even though they just called it an indentured servant.
Sojourner Truth was born around 1797 in Ulster County, New York. Originally named Isabella Baumfree, Truth was sold at 11 years old along with a flock of sheep for $100.
Sojourner Truth wrote about her life as a child in slavery, and she talked about experiencing sexual abuse and continued beatings and whippings by her slave owner.
Truth fled her master in 1826, 1 year before the abolition of slavery in New York, and eventually became a freed slave.
After Truth became a free woman, she had the courage to go to court to challenge the legality of her son being sold into slavery. She was successful against so many odds, which is what makes that court case so amazing.
Inspired by religion, she changed her name to Sojourner Truth in 1843. The following year, she joined forces with abolitionists such as Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison.
Sojourner Truth became a traveling preacher, but also she was an early women's rights advocate, and so she spoke very forcefully for that as well.
In 1850, she published her memoirs, and the following year, Truth delivered her famous speech at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention.
The speech was later retitled Ain't I a Woman? And it was so powerful in part because it talked about the equality of work that was executed by Black people in general, that people who were free and unfree worked just as hard, whether they were men or women.
Following the outbreak of the Civil War,
And by the way, yo, that's a side thing, but you know, look, if you peep it, they always try to act like, yo, the sisters was fighting for a women's thing, like they was standing up with white women, when really they was saying like, yo, these white bitches ain't nothing too, you know what I mean? Ain't ish either. Just like the dudes, but now they would portray history as if they was fighting for white bitches, like white bitches needed fighting for at the time, you know.
Truth recruited troops for the Union Army and met with President Lincoln in 1864, who gave her permission to become a counselor at Freedmen's Village.
Sojourner Truth made a singular contribution during the Civil War. She agitated for Black people to be able to fight for their own freedom.
Truth continued to campaign for abolition and women's rights until her death on November 26, 1883.
Now, of course, we're going to hear a little bit more about the great Sojourner Truth as we move along through these lessons.
All right, this is the last part.
It was
Cassidra.
around that
Can you hear
time,
me?
around 1797.
Yeah.
All right.
That free Black people petitioned Congress for the first time. The free Black community in Philadelphia unified and came together to petition the Congress to end slavery. Now, you got to understand, by then, that market of kidnapping free Black people, men, women, and especially children, was already becoming big, right? And in places like Philadelphia and other places, they would catch Black people slipping, kidnap them, and re-enslave them or sell them back into slavery. And these brothers petitioning Congress in Philly was inspired after 4 Black men, Jacob and Jupiter Nicholas, Joe Albert, and Turner Pritchett, were kidnapped and re-enslaved after they earned their freedom fighting in the Revolutionary War, even though their families were still enslaved in North Carolina.
The elite community in Philadelphia was much different than elite communities anywhere else. I mean, free Black Philadelphia was considered to be the standard. I mean, they were the gateway, is what the word they used for free Black communities. There was a gateway between the North and the South. That enslaved populations looking to work them way up, they would come through Philadelphia. And if they were lucky enough and blessed enough, they can then settle in Philadelphia and help to move the community forward. But what was happening in Philadelphia had been taking place since the 1700s.
By the way, it was slavery in
You
Philadelphia.
had enslaved people, you had this free Black community working side by side. I mean, they were actively involved in building Black Philadelphia. So these were families that had been free for hundreds of years, families that had been free coming out of the Revolutionary War. I mean, you had some of the wealthiest Black families in Philadelphia. When you talk about the Lacans, when you talk about the Forges, these are families that had old, established money. They made sure their children were educated and well-traveled and spent time with the right people. They were not just grooming the men. They were also—
Y'all define the right people. Y'all define what is professional and all that stuff. You
also
know?
grooming the women. That the girls were educated alongside with the boys. I mean, more boys were educated, but elite families made sure both the boys and the girls were educated because they were told they had to then become leaders and they had a responsibility to giving back to the community.
Now, once somebody is kidnapped.
Now, and I just want to point out real quick, because it's the last minute here, but show them love for building free black communities at the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, all I'm saying is today we can update our information to realize that we shouldn't even be fighting for being a part of somebody else's community, because if we had brought them up to be like, hey, let's create our own stuff and fight if somebody come try to take it, let's see where we would have turned out. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, all right, well, let's be professional and outlaw stuff that other groups would call us unprofessional at our own institutions and stuff like that. You know, just to try to fit in. Like the dude said, all I wanted to do was be accepted, you know. And we thinking trying to humanize ourselves for something that's not even human like you know. But
Kidnapped.
that's the last
And
thing. Watch
usually
this,
the state
Cassidra.
holds them to determine whether they're free or not, or whatever the case may be. And then most times the judges got more money to send them off into slavery, right? They might get $5 for letting them go and $10 for sending them into slavery. Like I said, that's jumping ahead in the lessons, and we
Now I'll stop right there. But did you hear that, Cassidra? Are you familiar with a judge system where a judge would be paid off to send children to jail?
I heard something about that.
Well,
Not, yeah, I heard it.
Well, yeah, so it's not new, right? So back then, right, what they would do is kidnap a lot of children, right? So free black people would often be kidnapped, you know, thanks to these laws, you know. And these are stories, these is kind of long. So this brother, like the movie that y'all can watch is the 12 Years a Slave movie, but these is actually stories of people like this sister here who was taken, and I think this is Solomon. It's the same thing. But most of the time it was children who was taken, not men or women, like especially young girls of what they would call childbearing age, or little girls really, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They would kidnap them the most, you know, and then they would take them to court, and so the judge would get money for ruling as they would be slaves, you know. So like they would get like $5 if they said the person was free and they had their freedom papers, but they would get $10 if they sent them into slavery, you know what I'm saying? And even today, you know, see the judges have, and look, they had this whole thing a couple years ago, and this is, you can name like that judge who had sent all like what, like 10,000 black kids to jail. You remember that white bitch judge who sent all those black
I
kids
do
to
remember.
jail?
Yep,
Yeah.
I do remember. Yep.
So, but they had a whole scandal about kids for cash scandal, right? So they was convicting a
Are they
bunch of
doing that today?
kids.
They're
Yeah,
still doing that today. Trafficking.
yeah,
They
yeah.
use
They just
black
got caught
men and
doing this.
women.
Like they just got
Yeah.
sent. But check this out. Not only that, Cassandra, you know what the bad part is, right? So this is a scandal that goes back years, but they still talking about it today. But guess what? A year when your boy was in office, right? So even your boy, good old Joe Biden,
We're looking for people 40 plus who
said
actually
he freed them. Like they got arrested for this, for sending kids to jail, and the
Now,
lesser of two evils actually
Joe Biden's announcement that he'd be pardoning his embattled son Hunter surprised many people, but he also
and then Negroes actually say, I understand, because with my son, I do the same thing. Well, then he shouldn't have made the damn crack laws. How about that? You know what I'm saying? He knew his damn son was a crackhead and then said, I want him away. Well, he shouldn't have passed those laws. How about that? Now, but now you understand why he would do it for his son? Well, why don't you understand why he didn't do it for yours then? Now they got drug take back day and all this other nonsense. But, oh, I understand why he would, it's his son. What's so what? He should go to jail with him. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Lock that crackhead ass up, dude up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
The announcement that he'd be pardoning his embattled son Hunter surprised many people, but he also commuted the sentence of a now former judge who received $2.8 million in kickbacks to jail 2,300 children, some as young as 8. Now one of the outraged moms is speaking out.
You ruined my A mother is screaming at a corrupt judge who wrongly sentenced her teenage son to prison in the notorious Kids for Cash scandal, one of the worst in judicial history.
You remember me?
It was not the worst in judicial history. The worst was some of the stuff we were just talking about. Well, millions of black children was kidnapped and sent into slavery forever. You know what I'm saying? And we still slaves today. So that was the worst in history.
What's
You
she
know.
mad about? The system didn't work the way she wanted it to? What's she mad about? I don't understand. Why should he remember you? You got paid for your son. What are you talking about?
She said, "No justice, no peace."
Yeah, well, okay. Okay. Now, next.
Remember my son? An all-star
Now
wrestler?
they're gonna show two white boys, but they ain't going. He
Her
said
son, who was sent to a
2,300
for-profit prison
people.
to
So who do
escape
you think most of those
ended up
children are?
killing himself.
My kid's not here. He's dead because of him.
Now Sandy Fonza is speaking to Inside Edition after President Biden commuted the sentence of another judge who was convicted for his role in the scandal 15 years ago.
And I just feel like it's political, politics is.
Whatever, What difference does it make,
Yeah,
right?
yada, 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 yada.
Anyway.
And what about it? Okay, next. You think we
So
care about your poor little white situation? No, we don't. We have bigger fish to fry in our community. What do you think they're doing to our children? They did one white boy and millions of black people, black children, millions. So why do we care again? Okay.
yeah, so anyway, it's nothing new under the sun. That's why I'd be like, yo, it's the same thing over and over and over. But unfortunately, all we do is talk, Cassidra, and what they do is do. So I don't know. You want to say anything to wrap up everything? Y'all, it's Black History, is the Black Present, and all around the world it's the same song, as the brother would say. So you got anything to wrap up everything we talked about?
No, I think Khalid Muhammad will say it all for me, or whatever that video that he said it all. I mean, we talk, we talk, we talk. It's time to do. It's time to do. No justice, no peace in this country should be our standard. If we don't get justice, we're gonna start burning shit down. Period. Period. Just like the Civil Rights Bill. How you think you got that? You think they just gave it to you? No. Look it up. Look that up. Forecast. It took them burning America down. That's the only reason why you got it. And then they turn around and didn't even use it for you. Ain't that something? Didn't even use it for you. Used it for everybody else. And that's what they do. They give you something, and then they use it for everybody but you. Ain't that something? These crackers will never change. And y'all think they changed, they're different. They're not. History just keeps repeating itself. They don't know. They don't have no new history. They're not inventors. But I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see the outcome. I'm waiting. All right. I'm not enough to say. If they don't get it by now, they ain't gonna get it.
Yeah. We wasting our time, Cassidra, so
Yeah, I'm wasting my 5:30 in the morning time, my sleep. Yeah, my sleep. For people that's still sitting on the sidelines watching, waiting. I don't know what they're waiting on, but they sitting there waiting faithfully. Well, these crackers got y'all trained.
and the good
They
ones gonna
got
come
black
help
folk
us.
trained. They got black folk trained. We're not gonna lift a finger until they tell us to. Okay, y'all can fight us now. Stupid. It makes no sense to me. Oh Lord, I don't know.
Well, all I can say, my last words is I'll let this be my last words.
Because we don't have any control over people's lives. I can't tell you what neighborhood to live in. I can't tell you what school to go to. I can't tell you you're a second-class citizen. I can't tell you that you can't vote. If I get on that corner and say, I get on that corner for 5 years and I stand there and I go, I'm going to take me a knife and I'm going to
10
cut your
years I've been
throat.
doing it.
And I'm going to take a car and I'm going to run you over. And I'm going to take this hammer and I'm going to beat you till you dead. If I never kill anybody, am I a murderer? When I kill somebody, what does that make me? A murder. Okay, what I can talk about it all day long. All we do is talk. White folks do. White folks make laws. There's laws in the book. I'm from Louisiana that said if you marry out of your race, you go to jail.
Or
You
on the
understand?
boat.
There's laws that you can't own property. They made laws. Laws. You can't vote. You can't go to school. You can't live in this area. You ain't never seen a sign that said, white boy, if you in this town when this sun goes down,
Why not?
Not happy.
Call it sun up towns, right?
That's racism. A practice. What you preach.
Practice what you preach.
That crap when they say.
And that's the definition of racism. That's what it is. Is what practice what you preach.
That's racism. A practice. What you preach.
All right. And of course we gotta let my brother have the last words here. That's what it is, man. It's practice what you preach. You know, first you gotta preach it, but then you gotta practice it, you know.
In Rwanda and other places, and can you please tell me why from Haiti, blacks from Haiti are just risking their lives to come here to the United States of America?
I'll tell you if I get a chance. Black people have been robbed, as I said earlier, of a knowledge of self. And when you rob people, sir, of a knowledge of self, then it means that they start to take on the characteristics and the nature of their oppressor and their colonizer. And his mind, by automatic, systematic, remote control, rules in our people. He gives them the guns and the weapons and the drugs and the alcohol, the way you did our brothers, the red man and the red woman, brothers and sisters, the way you did our Latino brothers and sisters, and then you pit one against the other and then say, look at what these people are doing.
Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust.
May I have your attention, please? Thank you.
Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust on 11 million people that died, 6 million of which were Jews, 5 million were others. Am I to understand that you would very much support his way of doing things, and him for that matter?
Sir, this is not reverse racism nor discrimination that you could tie into your statement on Hitler. If the slave master is whipping the slave and blood is running down the slave's back, and that's incidentally where the term cracker comes from the cracker man who had the crack of the whip on the slave's back. But if the slave takes the slave master's whip from him and starts whipping the slave master with his own whip, that is not reverse racism, that is not reverse discrimination, that is the slave getting out from under the yoke of bondage and oppression. I don't advocate what Hitler has done before the world. Hitler's struggle. I went to the Holocaust Memorial Museum and I tried to separate Hitler as a freak of nature from the rest of white people. But after all that we have gone through, I know that there's a little bit of Hitler in all white people and a lot of Hitler.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Are you on mute? Marquez, you on mute? If you're talking,
Oh, I was on mute. Yeah, I was on mute, but I'm sorry. Nah, I was like, yeah, that's all facts. You know, he tried to separate Hitler as a freak of nature amongst all Neanderthals, but he couldn't because he realized there was a little bit of Hitler in all Neanderthals because Hitler was nothing but a typical Neanderthal. Now he at least got rid of a lot of shysters, but that's a whole nother story. But allegedly, because we wasn't there, considering we don't know what happened. The shysters put each other in there. You know what I'm saying? What about Jew on Jew crime? You know what I'm saying? What they call Jew. What about Jew on Jew crime? You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation. But shouts out to Jermaine. Shouts out to Matron. And Matron, I think, gonna be back reading the Delectable Negro, which is another thing where they talk about eating us, y'all. Like this disgusting.
yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
Shouts out to Raw. Shouts out to Karma 804. Appreciate you coming through. Shouts out to Nicole. Appreciate you. My brother Anthony.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassidra, for coming on here. Y'all subscribe to Cassidra's channel so that y'all can tune into her lives. That was a good conversation last week about how it is with your family and stuff like that,
Yeah, we're gonna do another one to actually gonna talk about how has us living in America prepared us for abroad. We're gonna talk about that today at 1 o'clock, which is I don't know what time is that for your time.
1 o'clock.
Seven.
I think it'd be like 5 in the morning or it'll usually be 6 or 5:30 or something like that.
They can tune in afterwards. If you don't get up that early, you can tune in later. Or if you guys are already subscribed, so you can hear it's not just about just moving abroad. There's stuff that come with it. Mental, you leaving your family, you're leaving your kids, you're leaving friends, everything you're starting over from scratch. We literally bring just your clothes, literally, to move abroad. You don't bring the furniture, you bring nothing else. Just you and your clothes. Maybe 6 suitcases, maybe. But you leave a lot of stuff in the States. You left your whole life. So we're gonna talk about that today. So tune in
Okay.
and talk, listen to it for later. You don't have to, get up, I don't expect you guys to get up 5 in the morning, but at least go and check it out.
Well, you get up at 5 in the morning, so it's all good.
Well,
They could do that
okay.
too. But
I appreciate the invite.
yeah,
Thank you.
and yeah, yeah, because I've noticed like when it'd be like around 6 in the morning, I'll be up and it usually pop on I get a thing popping on my thing. So,
Okay.
but
So you
yeah,
so yeah,
but yeah, I
then listen
appreciate
to me.
y'all. And as
Welcome.
always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
And thanks, forecast.